All right, NFL world. Last year I did a prediction thing where I was laying in bed. It was dark. Doing it in the light this year. I went through each division, the AFC and NFC, picked who I thought would win the division, who would get second, third, fourth, and so on. This is that video. I am going to do something a little different at the end of this video. I am also going to predict who I think are going to be my 3 surprise teams of the year in the NFC, 3 surprise teams in the AFC, and I'm also going to do an honorable mention, which will be in the AFC. I'm also going to go who I think. I'm also going to let you know who I think will be the best team in the I'm also going to let you know who I think will be the best team in the NFC and AFC this year, and who I think will be the worst team in the NFC and AFC this year. So let's get into it. Since my team's in the NFC, I'm going to start with the AFC, and we're going to start with the AFC East. Going to go with the Buffalo Bills to win that division, the New England Patriots to get second, Miami Dolphins to get third, and the New York Jets to get fourth. I think the Jets will be decent this year, but just not good enough. I think Justin Fields will have a decent year, but just not going to be good enough to compete in that division. Then we move on to the NFC West. Obviously, the Chiefs are the cream of the crop in that division. I think they've won the title. They've won the division title there like 9 years in a row. Looking for like their 10th, I believe it is, in a row, something like that. I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs to win the AFC West. Going to go with the Denver Broncos to get second. Chargers in third. And the Raiders in fourth. I think the Raiders will be surprisingly decent, but just not good enough. Now we move on to the AFC South. We're going to go with the Houston Texans to win that division. Jacksonville Jaguars to play second. Colts in third. And the Titans in fourth. And then we're going to move on to the AFC North. I'm going to go with a team who I'd probably be a fan of if I wasn't a Bears fan. We're going to go with the Cincinnati Bengals to win the North. Ravens in second, Steelers in third, and Browns in fourth. So now we move on to the NFC, guys. We're going to start in the NFC West. This was a toss-up for me between the Rams and Niners here. But I still think the Niners are the better team. I'm going to go with the Niners to win the AFC. I'm going to go with the Niners to win the NFC West. I am going to go with the Rams to finish second in the West. So starting with the NFC West, I'm going to go with... So now as we jump to NFC, I'm going to go with the Niners to win the West. Rams to play second. Cardinals in third. Seahawks in fourth. They did a lot of, off-season moves. I mean, the Seahawks might be surprisingly good, but I just think with what they did in off-season, they're not going to be very good this year. I think it's a rebuild for them. Now we move on to the NFC East. Obviously, the Eagles are still the best team in my mind in this division, so we're going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles to win the NFC East. The Washington Commanders to play second. Dallas Cowboys in third. And we're going to go with the Giants in fourth. I do think the Commanders might actually take this division this year, so Eagles best not slip up. This is one of them divisions that's tough. It's toss-up. I think Commanders could easily win the division. I'm thinking the Commanders will probably win the division, but I'm still going with the Eagles to win it. Now we move on to the NFC South. We're going to go with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win this division. In the NFC South, we're going with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win the division. Falcons to take second. Carolina Panthers in third. And the Saints to finish fourth. I think the Falcons could easily walk away with the division or run away with it. That's a good, young, talented team over there. Now we move on to the NFC North, which is my division. I love my teams in there. My Bears, love my Bears. But I am going to go with Detroit Lions to win this division. Green Bay Packers to play second. Bears to get third. And the Vikings to get fourth. I think they'll fall off majorly this year. Sorry, Vikings fans. It's not because I hate you or anything. I guess Packers and Vikings are my most two hated NFL teams as a Bears fan. But It's not because I'm a Bears fan. Even if I wasn't a Bears fan, that's how I predict it. I just think with J.J. McCarthy this year, I think this is going to be an off year for you guys a little bit. Packers, with the addition of Micah Parsons, I just think that defense is going to be really good this year. I think Jordan Love's going to have a great year this year. My Bears, I think they'll make a run at it. Obviously, Lions are still the cream of the crop here, but I still think the Lions are the cream of the crop here. But yeah. So let's get into who I think will be my 3 surprise teams for the NFC this year. Obviously, I'm going first and foremost, my Chicago Bears. Do I think they'll win 10, 11, 12 games? No. I think they're going to win 8 games. That's my prediction. 8 games. But I think they're going to make leaps and bounds of improvement from that offense and defense last year. I think the offense will be much better this year. I think defense will be much better this year. I think when this year ends, people are going to look and say, Ben Johnson's got that team moving on up. That Bears team is going to be a threat for a few years to come. And people are going to look and say, I think in Ben Johnson's second year, this team's going to be the team that wins the division and possibly competes for a Super Bowl. That's how I look at that, or competes for not the Super Bowl, but is going to be a team that's going to be playoff contenders for the next few years. So yeah, my first surprise team is my Chicago Bears. My second surprise team is not going to be a really surprise team for a lot of people, but I think this is a team that a lot of people expect to be good, but they don't know how good they might be with Phoenix. I think the Atlanta Falcons are going to be scary good this year. That's a young, talented team over there. I think they're going to be really, really good. My third surprise team is going to be, in the NFC, so yeah, Atlanta Falcons will be my Bears are my first surprise team. My second surprise team is a very young, talented Atlanta Falcons team coming out of the South there. I think they could walk away with that division with ease. So Atlanta Falcons, my second surprise team for the NFC. My third surprise team is, I think, a team everybody's writing off. I'm going to go with the Giants. They got a veteran quarterback in Russell Wilson over there. They got Malik Neighbors. They got Jackson Dart, who I think will take that job by the end of the year. They got Wan'Dale Robinson, I believe, and I still think Darius Slayton's there. That defense with Abdul Carter. Oh, my God, they're going to be pretty decent this year. I think they're going to be a good team. So my surprise teams for the NFC, Bears, Falcons, and Giants. And I've explained to you why. Now, AFC, my first surprise team is I'm going to go with the New England Patriots. I think with the new head coach, Mike Vrabel, and what he did with Tennessee, they're going to shock some people this year and even maybe win that division. I think the offense is very good with Trayvon Henderson, Drake May, just to name a couple people. Defense is a pretty stout defense over there for the Patriots. So, yeah, Patriots are my first surprise team. Second surprise team for me, I'm going to go with the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, do I think they'll win 10, 11 games? No, but I think they'll win between 7 and 8, and I think they're going to shock a lot of people, and they can play spoiler. So the Raiders are my second surprise team. My third surprise team is going to come out of the NFC, or out of the... My third surprise team is going to come out of the AFC South, and I think it will be the Indianapolis Colts. I think they got a decent offense over there, and I think they're going to shock a couple of people. Honorable mention for me is going to be the Tennessee Titans. I think they could scare some people and be decently good this year. But there you have it, guys, my predictions. So, out of the NFC surprise teams, Bears, Falcons, Giants. AFC surprise teams is going to be Patriots, Raiders, and Colts. Honorable mention, Tennessee Titans. But yeah, I hope you all enjoy the NFL season. I'll be back later with a playoff prediction. But it's football, baby. Let's go.